What's up, family? Welcome back to Tommy Bikes Homestead. So sorry, y'all, I have been missing in action, but y'all, it's just been rough on me. I've been not feeling very well lately. I still don't feel good today, but I needed to come to you and, just talk to you, see how you guys are doing. Let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're from, if you're still seeing shortages, and just what you're doing to help your family, because it might help someone else. It might give them an idea of something that they can try in their own home. So today's video, you can see from the title, is my 2022 predictions and some other people as well. So we need to prepare now for tomorrow's threats, and that could be anything. So we're gonna go over a few, and I'm gonna try not to make this a long video. I promise I will try not to make this a long video. Before we get started though, go ahead and like the video, share it out if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Yes, by all means, become a part of the family. So let's get into it. And yes, I have notes. I was up. I didn't stay up late last night because I just did not feel good. But I did stay up till about 12. So let me get into it. So we need to start thinking about how we can get around some of the things that's already happening and also get through some of the things that's already happening. You already know we have a bunch of cyber attacks this year and 2020. So with that, we need to really be thinking about that. I know I don't always think about it, but the other day I did. So I had made a phone call to my previous job. I needed some paperwork from Human Resources. So me and the woman, we were chatting it up like we always do when I call. For some reason she remembers me, but anyway, she said, "Oh baby, I cannot get into the system." And I was like, "That's fine, take your time." She's like, "No, I really cannot get in. We cannot use our software. They are using Kronos software for payroll and all of that. And so they were unable to do that. I don't know when it started. She didn't tell me that, and I forgot to ask. But I said, well, I'll just call back next week. She's like, they're telling us it's probably going to take 3 weeks. It may take a little longer. It's a ransomware that has been put on our system, so we cannot access payroll or anything else that we do in that system. So we're trying to scramble and come up with a way to pay our employees. They have employees over a lot of parts of South Carolina. So I was like, wow, I didn't even hear anything about, a cyber attack. So that lets me know that these things are still happening. They only really make the news when, it's something major, like what happened with the water. And that really didn't make the news that much. I found that article when I did that video months ago. But so far, we have had attacks on, and you can add in the comments because I'm sure I'm going to miss some because I'm not really looking at the notes in front of me. Why? I don't know. But we have had attacks on water. We have had attacks on fuel. And what else? It was something else. Power. We've had attacks on that. And it's just, a small company. All those companies were small companies. But I think those companies were practiced for the bigger situation to come. And I do believe that is about to happen. And then it's a thought, let's target these companies right before Christmas, because they figure, well, these companies will pay, because they need that stuff up and going because they want to be able to pay their employees. And so people are attacking places that you wouldn't really think about, like who does the cyber attack on a Head Start program, right? But it's not really the Head Start program because a lot of different businesses use the Kronos system. And just so happen if you're using it, then you're having an issue with it right now. So now they're talking about the threats that are from space. Don't look at me crazy, okay? They're talking about the threats that are from space. Let me explain. And this I will look on so I don't get it twisted. So early 2021, nearly 600 million ransoms were paid out. It's going to be more than that. It's going to definitely be more than that in the future. So how the attacks are coming from space is organizations that use the satellites to deliver critical services remotely will be vulnerable to this attack. These are, for example, companies with movement. By movement, I mean cargo ships, cruise liners, commercial airlines, and anything else that you could think of, rail, trucks. So a lot of those companies use satellite for different reasons throughout their business. So those things are vulnerable now. Another thing is AI. So AI and all learning machines are going to be vulnerable. And if you haven't noticed, please open your eyes. A lot of things are moving to AI and learning machines. Like they already have them in the factories, you know, putting out things because it's about how fast I can get it done and how many I can get done in a certain amount of time. And so they've been using those machines to build things. They're now integrating those things into grocery stores. If you notice, they have more self-checkout than they do cashiers because they're trying to really weed out having cashiers, period. So imagine, excuse me. So imagine if you have all these issues that's going on today. Excuse me, it's probably about 9 in the morning. But imagine all of those things that's going on today where we already have to deal with supply chain issues, empty shelves, food shortages, and on and on and on. Now we have to think and add into that for 2022 possibility of cyber attacks on AI situations. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. I'm not going to worry about it, but it's a lot to think about because not only are you struggling in some areas to find what you need to eat, now the struggle is going to be, well, I found it, but can I afford it? Well, I found it, I can afford it, but can I pay for it? Because the systems are down. So being able to feed your family then becomes something major because now you got a cart full of food for your family for however long you got it for. And you can't even get out the store with it because the systems are down and they don't have the cash, the cashiers to work and operate that system. So yeah, it's always something that links to something. It's almost like a domino effect. So then not being able to purchase those items that you have because AI has been attacked, cyber attacked, and you can't, use the register. You can't use your ATM. You can't do all these different things you cannot do, right? That now brings on, like I said, domino effect. Food security is a threat in 2022 and beyond. So I wanted the true definition of food security. So it says, let me put my glasses on. Food security means having at all times both physical and economic access to sufficient food to meet dietary needs for productive and healthy life. A family is food secure when its members do not live in hunger or fearing of hunger. Food security has 4 components. Availability, which means does food exist near me? Access, which means can I get food easily? Utilization, will the food contribute to my health? Stability, will food be available tomorrow, next week, or next month? So if we go off of those four components, then we already starting to be in trouble, because we already see that in some areas food's not really available, to the point stores are scrambling to figure out how to make their shelves and their stores look full. I just recently saw, I've been hearing people talk about it, but I actually saw a video of what stores are really doing to make it seem like they have full shelves. All the way from printing out poster boards of food and placing it in front of the empty shelves to hopefully distract people from thinking, well, the shelves are full. Because if people start to really notice, if they stop doing all the things that they're doing, I wrote it down so I didn't forget. So if they stop doing the majority of the things that they're doing, from spacing things out on the shelves, you know, like you got 10 different brands of pizza, you're going to space them all out so that row of shelves right there looks full. Whether or not it's shortening the sections for certain items, widening the aisles so that you don't, you know, have a big space that's empty, but it still looks empty anyway. And putting up fake, I already said the posters, but pictures of food. Like the water containers, the refrigerated area, you got this covered with bottled water, but it's no water in there. So stores are just really doing a lot. And I don't blame them, because panic will set in and panic buying will then set in. Like I said, domino effect. One leads to the next, the next, the next. So now that leads to what do we do, right? What do we do when all of that is going on? The best thing we can do is control what we can control in our homestead, on our homestead. Control what we can control. And that means starting by, as I always say, make a plan. Go over that plan of what you want to do with your family. That way they can give you ideas of things that might help them, because they're in the home with you. They know what they need as well. So that plan needs to include, you know, how much food you're willing to store, what your budget's going to look like for those specific things. Now we're going to make a plan of things that we need to do. We're going to talk about this with our family. We're going to come up with a game plan. We're going to start putting that plan into action, going out and actually getting the food that you need, the water that you need. Think about if you have space to garden, start growing your own food. And you can have a small space and still start growing something, because food security is going to become food insecurity in 2022 and 2023. And then also, if you have enough space, think about, are you going to grow your own or raise your own animals on your, you know, homestead? We have enough land where we can do that. We already have started. And also, I may do a little something here at this particular homestead. I just need to check with my ordinances, and I suggest you do the same. Although there is a lady across the street from me who has a farm, so maybe I'll be safe with doing it. So y'all, take those into account. Go get the items you need. Have a way to secure those items. Know where you're going to put them, how you're going to store them, how you're just going to keep your family safe in the process if something were to happen. Because if we start dealing with all these cyber attacks that I'm talking about here and that other people are talking about, we're going to want to not be out in the crowd in the mix of things. You're not going to want to be out there while people are panic shopping, or, well, if they can't purchase it now, are they going to steal it? Are they going to rob people for it? And you don't want to be caught up in the mix of all of that. So try to get what you need now so that you don't have to go out, you know, if blank hits the fan. So yeah, that's all I have for today, you guys. Like I said, I've just been down and trying to snap back from it. No, I don't have, you know what, or anything like that. But I don't know. It could be my lupus. It could be a lot of things that's causing what's going on, because I did start a new medication, and it could be that as well. So y'all take care. I will do the same. I will see you in the comments.